Hey guys, today is Tuesday afternoon, the afternoon of the Game 1 of the 2015 World Series between the New York Mets and the Kansas City Royals. So I thought I would do my best to do a preview game just to see how it turns out using the old Statis Pro baseball game and the new 2015 season set that I got off eBay from the Statis Pro community. We don't know the full 25-man rosters yet because some teams are still making decisions, but I've done my best to put the first 25 that I think are going to be on there together, as well as the starting lineups. We don't know the starting lineups. We do know the starting pitchers. Don't know the starting lineups per se, although I did read that the Mets were using Kelly Johnson as their designated hitter in Game 1, so I will do that as well. So what I did is I took the starting lineups from the previous game played for each team, and I'm going to use that as best I can to try to recreate what might be Game 1 of the World Series tonight, weather permitting, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started, but this is mainly just for fun, just to see how it turns out. I don't claim to be a prognosticator or that I know what the lineups are going to be. I'm just doing a best guess effort. So we'll see how the Statis Pro game works that out in just a moment. Okay, we're all set to go for Game 1 of the 2015 World Series. As mentioned earlier, the starting pitchers for each game is Edinson Volquez of the Royals and Matt Harvey of the Mets. But let's meet the starting lineups for each team. Leading off, well, first of all, for the National League champion New York Mets, leading off and playing right field, Curtis Granderson. Batting second and playing third base, David Wright. Batting third, the National League Championship Series MVP, playing second base, Daniel Murphy. Batting cleanup and center field, Yoenis Cespedes. Batting fifth and playing first base, Lucas Duda. And batting in the sixth position, the designated hitter, Kelly Johnson. Batting seventh and catching, Travis d'Arnaud. Batting eighth, playing left field, Michael Conforto. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, Wilmer Flores. Your starting lineups for the National League champion New York Mets. Now let's meet the starting lineups for the American League champion Kansas City Royals. Leading off, at shortstop, Alcides Escobar. Batting second, playing second base, Ben Zobrist. Batting third, in center field, Lorenzo Cain. Batting cleanup at first base, Eric Hosmer. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Kendrys Morales. Batting sixth, playing third base, Mike Moustakas. Batting seventh and catching, Salvador Perez. Batting eighth in left field, Alex Gordon. And batting ninth in right field, Alex Rios. Your 2015 Kansas City Royals starting lineup for Game 1. Okay, guys, you see we have the bench and bullpen for the Mets, and the bench and the bullpen for the Kansas City Royals. The starters, as we said, Edinson Volquez. His SR rating, or his reduction rating as a starter, is listed as a, if I can get it in here clearly, a 14. SR 14. So that's where he is on the SR chart. Matt Harvey, his SR rating is 11. So he is on the board as an 11 for an SR rating. We've got our fast action card deck ready to roll. It's already been shuffled, cut, and ready to roll. As I said in a previous video, there is an option to check pitcher stuff, and depending on the range of the random number, it can either increase his stuff or decrease his stuff or keep it the same, but I tend to not use that particular option. That's why it's called an option. And then now we go over to the score sheet. I've got that all lined up and ready to go for the Mets and the Royals 2015 World Series Game 1. So we'll get ready to go here now that all the festivities are over with. And leading off, stepping up to the plate to get things going, is the right fielder Curtis Granderson. So Volquez will make that first pitch, and we'll see who has control. The first flip is a CD, but that only comes into effect, the clutch defense, when someone is on base. So we will skip that and go to the next result. And that flip is a 6. Volquez, against left-handed batters, has a PB rating of 2-7, so he is in control on this at-bat. So we'll be looking off of Volquez's card for the random number. That random number is a 74, which is well within the out range, so we have to see what kind of out it is. Granderson's a left-handed power hitter, so we check the LP in the out sequence. However, on this one, the out sequence is the same for everyone, which is a G5 star, ground ball to third. But with the star, we do have to do an error check on Moustakas to make sure he fielded it cleanly. So we flip the error, and the error says none. So Granderson grounds to Moustakas to start us off, and there's one away. And that'll bring up third baseman David Wright. And we'll see what he can do. Here's the flip for Volquez. It's a 7. Now against right-handed pitching, PB rating is only 2-6. So that means we're going off of Wright's card versus Volquez's card, because I am using lefty-righty splits. Had I not been using lefty-righty splits, the generic PB rating for Volquez would have been 2-7. But I decided ahead of time to go ahead and use the left-right factors, so that's what we will do. So Wright has the at-bat coming off of his card, and the flip is a 36. So if we go to Wright versus right-handed pitching, 36, that is in the strikeout field, which is 34-56. Had he been facing a left-handed pitcher, he would have had a double. So there's the difference in the lefty-righty there. So Volquez able to get the K on Mr. Wright, who was Mr. Wrong in that at-bat. And now there's 2 out spaces empty for hot-hitting Dan Murphy. So we'll see what Volquez can do against Murphy. The flip is a 3. That's definitely in Volquez's range, so we will be using his card. The flip is an 11. So an 11 is an infield hit. 11 is an infield hit for Murphy. He scrubs one through the infield. Was knocked down. Nobody could recover. So Murphy gets an infield hit. We do not have to do an error check since the result was off the pitcher card, but given the hit, we do need to reduce Volquez's SR rating down by 1. So that brings up the equally hot-hitting center fielder Yoenis Cespedes with Murphy on base. Here's the flip. It's a 6, which against right-handed pitching or right-handed hitting, Volquez is in control, 2-6. So we will be using Volquez's card, and the random flip is an 18. An 18 off of Volquez's card is a single to center field. So Cespedes lines one to center field up the middle. Murphy has the option of possibly going to third. Runners advancing on a single to center field, first to third, has to go by the table that we have here. And it goes by the running rating of Murphy, and then also the throwing rating of Lorenzo Cain, the center fielder. And if we check Lorenzo Cain, his throwing rating is a T4, which is the second best rating you can get. T5 is the highest. So he's a T4, first to third on a single to center. T4, so that's going to lower the numbers there. Let's check what Murphy's running rating is. He is an OBR C, so he's an average runner at best. which puts that in 11 to 42 range. However, when 2 men are out, you can add 20 points to that because the batter is running with the pitch. So that gives us an 11 to 62 opportunity. 11 to 62, those are good odds. So I'm going to go ahead and try it. The third base coach is going to wave him around. If it's an 11 to 62, he is safe at third. If it's higher than a 62, he is out and has committed the cardinal sin of making the last out at third base. But we're going to go and be aggressive and see what we can do here. We need an 11 through a 62 on this random number flip. The flip is a 54, so he is safe. He is safe. So Murphy takes the chance and scoots over to third base. Runners are now at the corners. Volquez gave up that hit, so let's lower him down to a 12. Now we have runners at the corners, 2 outs, and first baseman Lucas Duda is up to the plate. So we'll see if Volquez can retire Duda or not. The flip is an 8, so that takes it out of Volquez and into Duda's card. So the flip for Duda, it's a 16. That's pretty good for the hitter. 16 versus right-handed pitching for Lucas Duda is a double to right field. Second base, 9. 16 to 18. That was a 16. It's a double to right field. So we know right off the bat that Murphy's going to score. The question is, will Cespedes be able to come around to score? The double was to right, so we need to check the right fielder's throwing arm, which is Alex Rios. He is a T3, which is about average. And the runner, in this case, Cespedes, has a running rating of C. So he's average as well. So we got average versus average. So we come over to our chart here. First to home on any double to any outfielder. We take the cross-reference, the T3 rating with the C, and that's an 11 through a 32. Now we do get to add 20 points to that number because of the 2 outs, so that would make it 11 to 52. Those are good odds for me. We're feeling lucky. We got the extra base on the last one, so we're going to try Cespedes. We're going to try sending him home. 11 to 52, the flip's a 38, and Cespedes makes it. So a 2-run double for Duda, and the Mets jump out to an early 2-0 lead. Now we have to do the reduction. He gets 1 reduction for the double, and then 1 reduction for each run that's scored. So that takes him down to a 9. So so Volquez is down to a 9 now in the first inning, giving up the 2 runs. Mets with the 2-out magic, and that brings up designated hitter Kelly Johnson. So we'll see what the flip is here to see who's in control. It's a 7, which means we're off of Volquez's card. And the flip is an 87. Now that's interesting because had we not been using the lefty-righty on the cards, we would have used the lefty-righty on the board. And a lefty-righty on the board says if a batter bats left-handed and faces a right-handed hitter, an 87 turns from an out to a single. But in this case, we're not. We're using the splits that are already on the card, so an 87 is simply an out. Now we need to find out what kind of an out. It's a ground ball to second with a star, so we check the error rating. There is no error on Zobrist, so he makes the play 4-3. Inning is finally over, but the Mets do pick up 2 runs on the on the double by Duda, 2-run double. And after half an inning of play here at Kauffman Stadium, it's the Mets 2 and the Royals coming to bat. Okay, the Royals will start off the bottom of the first in a hole, 2-0, but we'll see what they can do. Alcides Escobar facing the Black Knight, Matt Harvey. So let's see here against a right-handed pitcher or right-handed batter. Matt Harvey's PB rating is a 2.8. So we'll see what happens here on the flip. The flip is a 5, so we're under Harvey's card. The random number is a 77. That is in the out range on Harvey's card. So we'll see what kind of out it is. Escobar is a right normal batter. So the flip here, right normal, is RN is G4A with a star. So it's ground ball to Murphy, but there is a star, so we do need to do an error check. An error has occurred, 1 to 10 on the error rating. So Murphy has booted it. Murphy has booted it. Now to find out how many bases are on this error. We flip the next card, and it says second base is a 2-base error. 2 bases, error 2. So Escobar reaches on the 2-base error by Dan Murphy. Must have thrown that one in the dugout. So Escobar is aboard on the error. And even though it wasn't Harvey's fault, since the runner did reach base, we will move him over to a reduction of 10 now. And that brings up second baseman Ben Zobrist. So we'll see if Harvey can shake off that error. The flip is a 5, so that's under Harvey's card. He is in control. The random number is an 84, so that is an out. Zobrist is a switch hitting power hitter, so we look under switch power hitter, but in this case the out sequence is the same for all, G2A. So that's a little number in front of the plate that d'Arnaud is going to be able to pick up. So let's check the out chart here and see about runner advancement. G2A says ground out, catcher to first, runner to third. So it acted like a sacrifice in all practicality, as the grounder goes catcher to first and Escobar will scoot over to third base. So one away. Escobar is at third. No reduction there on the base advancement because of the out. So we will keep Harvey at the 10 rating. And next up in the order is Lorenzo Cain. You'll see if he can drive home the run here. The flip for Harvey, a 7. That is within Harvey's range, so we will check Harvey's card. A 38. A 38 for Harvey versus right-handed batter is a strikeout. As you can see, 22 to 41 is the strikeout range. So Harvey reached back and got the strikeout, and it's a big one. That keeps Escobar at third without advancing. Now we're down to 2 outs, and the cleanup hitter Eric Hosmer is up to the plate, so we'll see what he can do. The random flip is a 2, so Harvey is in control there as well. The flip is a 56, and a 56 against left-handed batters just missed being in the field of play. It is an out range. 55 to 88 is an out, so 56 covers that. Hosmer's a left-handed power hitter. We'll check the result. It is a ground ball to David Wright at third with a star, so we do need to do an error check. So Wright fields it, no problem. 5-3 on the putout, and Harvey pitches around the Murphy error. So for the Royals, no runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 big runner left on third base. At the end of 1 complete at Kauffman Stadium, it's the Mets 2 and the Royals nothing. Okay, top of the second, Travis d'Arnaud will lead it off for the Mets against Volquez. The flip is a 12, so we're definitely going off the batter card, d'Arnaud. And the next random flip is a 53. And against right-handed pitching, Travis d'Arnaud, 53, that is the tail end of his strikeout range. So Volquez has struck out d'Arnaud for out number 1. And that will bring up the left fielder, Michael Conforto. So we'll see what Conforto can do here. The next flip is a 7. And against lefties, that's in the range for Volquez to be in control. The next random flip is a 55. 55 versus left-handed pitching, or left-handed batters, is in the out range. So Conforto is a left-handed power hitter. We'll see what the out is all about. And that is a GX6 with a star, ground ball to short, but it is a star, so we'll see it, make sure that Escobar could handle it. The error check is none, so it is simply a 6-3 ground out for out number 2. And that'll bring up the 9th hitter in the order, shortstop Wilmer Flores, who is no longer crying. All right, Wilmer Flores at bat. The 10, that means we're going off Flores' card. And the next flip is an 85, so that is an out right power hitter. So Wilmer Flores will ground ball to short with an A on it again, so Escobar gets another chance. And again, he fields it cleanly. Another 6-3 ground out ends the inning, 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the second. It's still the Mets 2 and the Royals nothing. And Kendrys Morales will lead things off for the Royals against Harvey. The flip is a 9. A 9. So that means that Morales has control. And we'll see what he can do with that. It's a 34. 34. So 34 against right-handed pitching for Kendrys Morales is a home run. Kendrys Morales, 28-35 against right-handed pitching is a home run. So Kendrys Morales has just put the Royals on the board with a solo home run. And what that does for the reduction of Harvey is we take one off for the hit and one off for the run. So he's down to an 8. And the lead is now cut in half, 2-1. That's why it's so critical to have control of these at-bats if you're the hitter, because the chances of success are much greater. So now here's Mike Moustakas against Harvey. See what Harvey, that's an 11, so Moustakas is going to be in control off of his card. The flip is a 62. 62 is in the out range. Those large numbers are in the out range. Usually anything above 50 is in the out range. Usually, not always, but usually. And Moustakas is a left-handed power hitter, which means everybody on this case is a fly ball to center field. Didn't matter who you were. So Moustakas is out for 1 away. So Harvey trying to shake off that home run ball. Now that brings up the catcher, Salvador Perez. The flip is a 7, so we're under Harvey. And the random number is a 66. That is an out. Right-handed power hitter is Perez. He lines it to David Wright. There is a star there, so we do have to do an error check. The flip for the error check is none, so Wright able to handle the line drive. 2 down. And now that'll bring up the left fielder, Alex Gordon. So we'll see what Gordon can do here against Harvey. The flip is a 6, which is under Harvey. And the random number is a 33. 33 for Harvey against left-handed pitching is a strikeout. It falls within that range of 22 to 38. So Harvey gets the strikeout of Gordon to end the inning. But the Royals do pick up a run on the solo shot by Kendrys Morales. And after 2 innings of play, it's the Mets 2 and the Royals 1. Top of the third, we're back to the top of the order in Curtis Granderson. He grounded to third his first time up. Here is the flip to see who has control. It is Volquez, because it's a 7, so he's within his PB range to have control. The flip is a 22. A 22 is a base hit to right field. So Curtis Granderson leads off the third with a single. That will notch Volquez down another notch, down to an 8. There is no error check because the hit was off the pitcher card. So Granderson's there. And that'll bring up David Wright. Wright struck out his first time up, so we'll see what he does this time. It's a 4, which is under Volquez's control. And it's a 31. And a 31 for Volquez is a strikeout. So Wright goes down and strikes for the second time. So there is 1 away. And that'll bring up Daniel Murphy. Murphy got everything started last time in the first inning with an infield hit with 2 outs and nobody on. So we'll see what he can do this time. It's a 7, which is under Volquez's control. Volquez, a 58. A 58 is in the out range. So Murphy, left-handed power hitter that he is, G5 star. G5 star. So we have to check an error rating on Moustakas. He did not make an error. A G5 with a runner on first base. G5 is a double play grounder. So that ends the inning. It's a 5-4-3 around the horn double play that Murphy has hit into. And the Mets go quietly in the third. We go to the bottom of the third. Score still tied at 2. And that'll bring up Alex Rios, who is the only player yet to bat in this game. He will lead off for the Royals against Harvey. And the random flip is a 7, which means Harvey's in control. And the next flip is a 25. And a 25 under Harvey is a strikeout. So Harvey registers his 3rd strikeout of the ball game as Rios goes down. And that'll bring up Alcides Escobar, who reached on the Murphy error in the first and later was stranded there, but he did reach. So we'll see what happens this time against Harvey. It's a 7, which means we're under Harvey's card. And the flip is a 78, which means that's an out. Escobar is a right normal batter, but in this case, everybody flied to left, no matter who they were. So there are now 2 away. So 2 down, and Ben Zobrist, the second baseman, is up. See if he can get anything started with 2 outs against Harvey. Harvey's a 7, so Harvey's under control. The next flip is a 75, so that is an out. Zobrist is a switch hitting power hitter. In this case, everybody's a ground ball to first base, but it is a star there, so we have to see if Duda could handle it. Oops. And he can. It's a none. So ground out to first, unassisted. Ends the inning, 3 up, 3 down. So that's it for the Royals here in the third. And after 3 complete, the score is the Mets 2 and the Royals 1. Okay, we start at the top of the fourth, and what I did is after 3 innings, we reshuffle the fast action card deck, and we flip it over since it's 2-sided, so that helps with the randomness of numbers. And now we're ready to start the top of the fourth. I'm trying to go a little bit faster so that I can get all 9 innings in before the hour is up, because my phone only has a max recording time of 1 hour. So we'll get started here. Yoenis Cespedes will lead things off. And instead of panning at everything, I'm just going to read it off as it happens to try to speed things up. Flip is a 10 when that's a control for Cespedes. And it's a 22, so a 22 for Cespedes against right-handed pitching is a double. So Yoenis Cespedes leads off the inning with a double to center field. And we need to do an error check since the double came off the batter card. It's a 9 to 10 in the error range, but Kane's error range only goes to 3. So we go ahead and notch down Volquez one more time, down to a 7. And so the Mets have something going here in the top of the fourth. The Cespedes double. Now that brings up Lucas Duda. Duda, a 7, which is under Volquez. And the flip for the random number is a 13. A 13 is a single to left. So Duda singles to left. Cespedes will hold with nobody out. So runners are at the corners. We do reduce Volquez down by another number. So runners are at the corners, nobody out. Things cooking here for the Mets, and Kelly Johnson, the designated hitter, is up. So we'll see what Johnson can do. It's a 5, which is under Volquez, and the random number is a 75. The infield is playing back, by the way. So left-handed power hitter is a liner to second base. No star this time, just a liner to second. And 1 away. All right, runners at the corners, 1 out, and Travis d'Arnaud, the batter. The flip of the fast action is an 11, which is under d'Arnaud's card. The infield's still back, by the way, looking for a double play. It's a 32. A 32 on d'Arnaud against right-handed pitching, as we can see, is a home run. So that is a 3-run shot for Travis d'Arnaud off of Volquez. And Volquez's time in this game could be coming to an end. A 3-run shot. So on the reduction, we get the hit, takes it down 1 to 5, and then the 3 runs given up knocks it down to a 2. But even more important than that, the Mets now lead it 5 to 1 on the 3-run shot by d'Arnaud. Here is Conforto. It's a 9, which means we're under Conforto's card. The flip is a 76, which is an out, and the power hitter pops to third. So 2 down. As we see if Volquez can get out of this inning at least. Wilmer Flores, the number 9 hitter, is up. It's a 3. It's a 15, so that's an infield, or I'm sorry, that is a base hit to center field. 2-out single by Flores. That knocks the reduction on Volquez down to 1, so the next thing he gives up, he will no longer be able to use his card. It will be everything off the batter card. So Granderson's up. It's an 8, and that's off of Granderson's card. And the random flip is an 83, which is an out. Left-handed power hitter is a ground ball to Moustakas at third with a star. And there's no error. So it's a 5-3 ground out to finally end the inning. But the 3-run home run by d'Arnaud gives the Mets a 5 to 1 lead as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Harvey now is up there with a lead, and Lorenzo Cain to lead things off for the Royals. as they try to make a comeback. 4 was off Harvey's card. It's a 16, so that's a base hit for Kane off of Harvey. That'll reduce Harvey down to a 7 rating as Kane tries to get something going here in the bottom of the 4th. That'll bring up Eric Hosmer. Hosmer, a 3 is off Harvey. 44. 44 for Harvey is a strikeout versus left-handed pitching or hitting. So Hosmer's out on strikes. 1 away, and that'll bring up Kendrys Morales, who did homer his first time up. See if he can do it again. The flip is a 9, so he is in control, Morales is. We'll go off his card. Flip is a 28, and a 28, he has done it again. Kendrys Morales, a 2-run home run, his second of the game in as many as at-bats. Knocks in Lorenzo Cain, 2-run shot, so we reduce Harvey 1 by the hit and 2 by the runs down to a 4. It is now a 5-3 ball game, and that'll bring up Michael Moustakas. This may be a 2-part video if this game goes on too long and all these runs are scored. We'll see. Moustakas now, 2 is off of Harvey's card. An 86, that is an out. Left-handed power hitter out. It's a ground ball in front of the plate for d'Arnaud. And there's no error, so d'Arnaud makes the play 2-3 for the second out of the inning. And that brings up catcher Salvador Perez. Salvador Perez. 5 is off of Harvey. 71 is an out. Right-handed power hitter. Ground ball to Duda with a star. But there's no error, so Duda makes the play to end the inning. But the Royals do pick up 2 on the 2-run home run by Kendrys Morales. And at the end of 4, it is the Mets 5 and the Royals 3. Okay, top of the 5th, we do have action in the Royal bullpen. Right-hander Luke Hochevar and left-hander Danny Duffy. David Wright will lead things off for the Royals, and Volquez is at a 1 SR rating, so the next thing he gives up, he will be pretty much done. But there are 3 out of the next 4 hitters are left-handed, so that is why Duffy is up there and warming up. But first things first, David Wright, third baseman, leading it off. It's a 7, which is under his Wright's card, and it's an 81, so Wright is going to be out. Right-handed power hitter is a fly ball to right field, so there's 1 away. So we're going to stay with Volquez until he gets to his 0 rating here. Facing Murphy, who he's done pretty well against. He's given up an infield hit, but he's also got a double play out of him. So the flip is a 5, which is under Volquez. It's a 68, which means he's out. And the out is a ground ball to short with a star. So there is no error. So that's an easy play there for Escobar. 2 down. So we'll see. Maybe Volquez can get out of this thing with no damage. Yoenis Cespedes is up. 2 down, base is empty. The flip is an 8, which is under Cespedes' card. And the random number is an 81, so Cespedes is out. And it's a ground ball to Moustakas at third with a star. Check for an error. It says error 6-10. Error rating is 6-10. So we have to check and see if Moustakas' rating, he's an error 3. So he was able to field that cleanly. A lesser third baseman would have had an error on that. It's a 5-3 put out, 3 up, 3 down. Volquez survives the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Still 5-3 Mets. Alex Gordon leading off against Harvey. CD was the flip, but there's nobody on base, so we ignore that. The next flip is a 2, which is under Harvey, and it's a 28. 28 is a strikeout. So Harvey with another strikeout, and down goes Alex Gordon. Now we have Alex Rios, the batter. Rios with the flip. It's an 8, which is under Harvey's card again. And the random number, as these fast action cards are sticking together on me. The random number is a 16. 16 is a single. So a single to center by Rios will knock down Harvey to a 3. And there is now 1 runner on. There is no error check because it was off the pitcher card. Zobrist, the batter. It's a 3. And it's under Harvey, but it's a 12, so that's a single to left field for Zobrist. I'm sorry, it's for Escobar, not Zobrist. That was for Escobar. So Escobar got a single to center field. That will keep Rios at second base. He's not going to take any chances down in the ball game. So runners at first and second. We do reduce Harvey down to a 2. And now Ben Zobrist is up. Zobrist. It's a Z. We flipped over a Z. That is an unusual play. So we need to see what the unusual play is. And that is going to be determined by this next random number. So we flip the card. It's a 14. Unusual play number 14. And it says, batter hits slow roller to first. Pitcher covers, but runner is safe on hit. Runners advance. Argument results in pitcher, first baseman, and catcher ejected from the game. How do you like that? How do you like that? The Mets have just lost Harvey, Duda, and d'Arnaud from the game for being ejected. So there's where the unusual play comes into play pretty prestigiously. So I'm going to pause this video while I sort out all this stuff and come back. Okay, we're back after that unusual play. Michael Kadire has now taken over at first base for the ejected Lucas Duda, and Kevin Plawecki has taken over for at catcher for the ejected Travis d'Arnaud, and John Neese has taken over on the mound for the ejected Black Knight Matt Harvey. So Lorenzo Cain is up, and the result of the play, of course, was an infield hit, which now loads the bases with 1 out. So Lorenzo Cain is up. The infield's at double play depth. The relief rating for Neese, reduction rating, is an 8. So he starts as an 8. So we do the flip, and it's a 7. So that means we're going off of Cain's card. And the next flip is a 64, which is an out. And that out result for a right-handed power hitter is a fly ball to deep left field, FD7. That is a sacrifice fly. So Cain sacrifice fly to left. That will bring in Rios. So Rios comes across to cut the lead to 5-4. Now there are 2 away, and Eric Hosmer, the batter, and we reduced the 1 because of the run scored on Neese. Now that'll bring up Eric Hosmer with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Flip is a 7. That's under Neese's card. And the result is a 55, which is an out. It's a ground ball to David Wright at third with a star. No error. So Wright makes the play 5-3. And the inning is over. The Wild inning is over. The Royals do pick up 1. And at the end of 5, it is the Mets 5 and the Royals 4. Okay, top of the 6th. Volquez still hanging on with the SR rating of 1. First batter he will face will be newly entered Michael Kadire since the ejection of Duda. So we'll do the flip for Volquez. It is a 5, which is his card. It's a 38. And a 38 on Volquez and a right-handed batter, 38 is a strikeout. So Kadire strikes out in his first time up. That'll bring up the designated hitter Kelly Johnson. Kelly Johnson, it's a 3, so we're under Volquez. Again, he's hanging on here. The 81 is the random number. That is an out. And it's a fly to left. So Johnson is out number 2. And now that'll bring up the new catcher, Kevin Plawecki, for his first at-bat. It's a 4, so we're under Volquez still. And the random number, if I can get these apart here, they're sticking together on me, is a 73. That is an out. And Plawecki is a right-handed normal, and that's a ground ball to third with a star. So Moustakas. Oh, wait a minute. Moustakas, it's a 4-10. Moustakas may have made an error. We'll have to check Moustakas' error rating. He is a 3, so he was able to make the play. 5-3 put out. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Still Mets 5 and Royals 4. And leading off will be Kendrys Morales, who homered twice off of Matt Harvey, so he might be sorry to see Harvey leave. Now he flips around and bats from the right-hand side against the left-hander Neese. So we'll see what happens. An 8, which means Morales controls, and it's a 12. The 12 is an infield single. So Kendrys Morales now 3 for 3. Infield single will knock down Neese to a 6 on the rating. And that'll bring up Mike Moustakas, lefty on lefty. So we'll see what Neese can do. It's a 7, so Neese is in control. It's a 48, and a 48 against the left-handers is an out. Left-handed power hitter is a ground ball to short, G6 star, and we'll see if Flores can make the play. He does. A G6 with a runner on first base is a double play ground ball. So it's a 6-4-3 double play that Moustakas has just hit into. That erases Morales from the base paths. Quickly 2 away. Base is empty. And Salvador Perez, the catcher, up to the plate with 2 outs and the base is empty. It's a BD flip, but nobody on base, so that is ignored. It's a 6, which is underneath's card. It's a 16, so it's a base hit for Salvador Perez, a 2-out single off the pitcher card, so we do not check for error. And that brings up Alex Gordon, another lefty-on-lefty matchup for Nice, and the flip is a 5, which means Nice is under control. It's a 14. So that is another base hit. It's a base hit to left. So Perez will hold at second base. We'll reduce Nice down to a 4. So quickly, after the double play, 2 hits have brought in 2 runners on base. And now we have Alex Rios, the batter. Rios steps up. It's an 8, so we're going to go off Rios' card. It's a 68, so Rios is out. He is a right-handed normal hitter, which is a liner to short. With a star, no error, so Flores was able to handle it. Innings over. No score there in that inning. And after 6 complete from Kauffman Stadium, it's the Mets 5 and the Royals 4. Okay, we start at the top of the 7th. New pitcher on for the Royals, Danny Duffy. He has a reduction rating of 8, so we start him off with there. Lefty pitcher facing the left-hander Michael Conforto to start the top of the 7th. And the flip is a BD, but nobody's on base, so we skip that. And we go to the next random number, which is a 5, which means Danny Duffy's in control. And the flip is a 23. So that is a base hit to right field for Conforto off of Duffy's card. So Duffy reduces down to a 7. And that brings up the shortstop, Wilmer Flores. Wilmer Flores, in a bunting situation, his sacrifice, though, is only a C, so we're not going to sacrifice because he could cause a force out. So we're going to let him hit away. The flip is a 7, and that is on Wilmer Flores' card. It's a 56 against lefties. That is an out. Barely, but it is an out. Right-handed power hitter. It's a ground ball to first, G3 star. Hosmer makes the play, and with a runner on first base, a G3 is a double play grounder. The only difference is if the runner or if the batter has an OBR of A or B, he would be safe and it would be a fielder's choice. Flores has an OBR of C, so he is doubled up. So it turns out to be a 3-6, 6-3 double play. Quickly 2 away. And top of the order, Curtis Granderson, lefty on lefty against Duffy. The flip is a 6, and Duffy's in control there. And the flip is a 58, which is an out. Left-handed power hitter. Liner to third, no star this time, so Moustakas makes the play. Granderson lines to third. 3 away in the 7th. So 7th inning stretch time here at Kauffman Stadium. And it is still the Mets 5 and the Royals 4. Okay, bottom of the 7th, and new Mets pitcher Addison Reed is on. And he will be facing the top of the order, Alcides Escobar for the Royals. Here's the flip. It's a 2, which is under Reed's card. And the next flip is an 86, which is an out. Right normal batter. Grounds to third with a star, so right has to make the play, and he does. And there's 1 away. Ground ball to third, 1 out. And we go to the second baseman, Ben Zobrist. Ben Zobrist, the batter, against Reed, a 7, which is still under Addison Reed's card. It's a 34, which in this case against a left-handed pitcher is a strikeout, or left-handed hitter, I should say. So Zobrist is out on strikes. 2 down for the center fielder, Lorenzo Cain. Reed has a 2.9 PB rating, so he's in control most of the time, although this time we just flipped an 11. So now Cain's in control, and it's a 37. Cain, a 37 against right-handed pitching, is a home run. 36-38 is a home run, so Lorenzo Cain has just tied this ball game at 5 apiece with a home run, and that reduces Reed's rating from a 3 to a 1. So now he's down to a 1 rating. We've got a tie ball game now with 2 outs, and Eric Hosmer is the batter. Hosmer, a 9, was still under Reed. Reed, a 72, is an out, and the left-handed power hitter that Hosmer is. Let's see what kind of out he created. It was a ground ball to second with an A, so Murphy has to make the play, and he does. 4-3 for the putout. So for the Royals, the home run by Kane has tied it, and after 7 complete, it is the Mets 5 and the Royals 5. Okay, top of the 8th, and new Royals pitcher Kelvin Herrera is on, and he'll be facing David Wright to start the 8th. And the flip is a 6. That's under Herrera. It's a 33, and Herrera 33 against right-handers is a strikeout. So David Wright strikes out for the 3rd time in this game. Get the hat trick for Mr. Wright. That'll bring up Dan Murphy. Mets got to be shaking their head. They were up in this game and have let it slip away. Herrera, it's a 7, so he's in control, but it's a 16, so that is a base hit for Murphy. And that'll reduce Herrera down to a 5. But Murphy is on with 1 out. And Yoenis Cespedes, the batter. The flip is a 7, which is still under Herrera's control. It's a 38, and 38 against right-handed hitters is a strikeout. It would have been a walk versus a lefty. But with Cespedes being a right-hander, he is out on strikes. 2 down. And Michael Kadire, the batter. It's a 2, which is under Herrera. And the next flip is a 32, and that is a strikeout as well in the strikeout range. So Herrera, other than giving up the hit, struck out the side, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. It's still Mets 5, Royals 5. And new pitcher in for the Royals. Not new pitcher, I'm sorry. For the Mets, we're going to keep it with Addison Reed, although it looks like Tyler Clippard is ready in the bullpen. And we may see him, we may not, and I think we will. We're going to go ahead and see Tyler Clippard. So Clippard's going to come on. He will come on to pitch the 8th, try to keep things right where they are, especially with the heart of the order coming up for the Royals. So Clippard is on to face Kendrys Morales, who has homered twice in this game, and see if he can keep him under control. The flip is a 3, which is under Clippard's card. It's a 58. And so that means Morales is going to be out. It's a ground ball to first base. So new first baseman Kadire is there, and he's got an error rating of 0. So there's no sense even checking the error because he made the play. First base unassisted. 1 down. Morales, a tough out, is finally put away. And Mike Moustakas, the batter, with 1 out, will flip. It is a 5, so that's under Clippard. It's a 48, and a 48 is an out. And the kind of out is a ground ball in front of the plate. New catcher Plawecki has to field it because there is a star there, and he does. And it's a 2-3 put out for out number 2. And that'll bring up Salvador Perez. Salvador Perez. It's a 4, so we're under Clippard. And it's a 31, and that falls in the strikeout range. So Clippard has struck out Salvador Perez to end the inning. And 3 up, 3 down. After 8 complete, we head to the 9th, tied up 5 apiece. Okay, top of the 9th, and new Royals pitcher Wade Davis is in the ball game, and he will be facing Kelly Johnson, Kevin Plawecki, and Michael Conforto. First pitch here, it's an 8, so that means Davis is in control because he's a PB 2-9. It's a 36, and a 36 is a strikeout. So Kelly Johnson down on strikes. 1 away, and that'll bring up the catcher, Kevin Plawecki. Plawecki against Davis. It's a 6, so we're under Davis's card. It's a 72, so Davis is an out. It's a ground ball to short with a star, so we'll see if Escobar makes sure he can make the play. And there's no error involved, and there is none. So it's a 6-3 ground out for Plawecki for the second out, and that'll bring up left fielder Michael Conforto. Conforto, the batter. BD rating, but there's nobody on base, so we do another flip. It's a CD rating, but there's nobody on base, so we do yet another flip. It's a 6, and that's a defensive flip for Wade Davis, so we're on his card. It's an 18, and 18 is in the strikeout range. So Mets go down quietly, 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It is the Mets 5 and the Royals 5. Tyler Clippard staying on for his 2nd inning of work. He'll be facing Alex Gordon, Alex Rios, and Escobar. So Gordon will start things off. It's a 7, which is under Clippard's card. Clippard, a 25 against left-handed pitching or hitting, is a strikeout. So Clippard strikes out Alex Gordon. 1 out here in the 9th. Looking at extra innings all the way here. Alex Rios, the batter, it's a 6. So Clippard's in control, but it's a 17, so it's a base hit. So Rios with a 1-out single. And now we're back to the top of the order, and Alcides Escobar. Alcides Escobar. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get a pinch runner for Alex Rios, and it's going to be Jared Dyson. Jared Dyson's going to pinch run here and take over to play in right field if we go to extra innings. But they want that speed in there. Ned Yost wants the speed, so Dyson, who is a speed rating of A, is in there, and he's not in there to sit there. He's in there to run. So we're going to have a stolen base attempt right here, especially with the backup catcher in the game for the Mets, Kevin Plawecki. And if we look at Plawecki, he is a TB thrower, which is the second best you can be. TA is the best. TB is his rating, throw rating of B. So we go to our stolen base chart and do a random number and see what it says. So the flip of the all-important random number is a 55. So 55 says runner out if catcher TA thrower. If not, he steals second. So since Plawecki is a TB thrower, not a TA thrower, Dyson has just stolen second base. So we'll lower Clippard 1 more on the stolen base rating. So now he's in scoring position. He can fly, so he's going to score pretty much on any base hit to the outfield. And that would be a walk-off if that happened. So here we go with Escobar, the batter. It's a 4, so we're under Clippard. It is an 86, so that's an out. Right-handed normal is a fly ball to left, but not deep, so it will not move up the runner at all. Simply a fly to left, 2 down. And Ben Zobrist with a chance to win the ball game for the Royals. He is up, and we'll see what he does against Clippard. It's an 8. It's an 8, which means Zobrist is in control. Flip is a 56. A 56 against right-handed pitchers is an out. Against a lefty, it would have been a walk, but he's out. Ground ball shortstop with a star, so we'll make sure that Flores can field it, and he does. 6-3 put out. And so we're going to extra innings. So we played 9 complete here at Kauffman Stadium, and it's the Mets 5, the Royals 5. Okay, if not for the home run in the 7th inning by Lorenzo Cain, this video would be over, but we're still going, and we're in extra innings, and Luke Hochevar is the new Royals pitcher. Wilmer Flores will lead things off for the Mets, kind of hamstrung on pinch hitting because there's no one else left to play shortstop. The only person available would be the designated hitter, and they would lose the designated hitter. So we're going to go and let Flores hit, see what he can do. First flip is a BD. Of course, bases are empty, so that's not effective. It's a 3, so we're under Hochevar. And the result is a 15. So that is a base hit for Wilmer Flores. So Flores starts off the top of the 10th with a base hit. And now that we're back to the top of the order, and Curtis Granderson. So we'll see what he can do. It's an 8, so we're under Granderson's card. It's an 83, so unfortunately he is out. Left-handed power hitter. He lines it to third, so Moustakas makes the play. No star, so no error check. And there's 1 away for David Wright. So David Wright is up. It's a 12, so we're under Wright's card. It's another 12, so that is a base hit to left field for Wright. And Flores will stop at second base. So runners at first and second now with 1 out. And Daniel Murphy is up. Flip is a 10, so we're under Murphy's card. It's a 51, and a 51 happens to be an out. So a left-handed power hitter out is a fly ball to center for Murphy for out number 2. No runner advancement. And that'll bring up Yoenis Cespedes. Last chance in the top of the 10th for the Mets. It's a 6, which we're under Hochevar. It's a 14, so that's a base hit to left. Now we might have something going here. There are 2 outs, so even the slower running Wilmer Flores might be able to score. He's a C, OBR C, so he's pretty average. And Alex Gordon's a throwing rating of 4, so that bumps him up a little bit. So the T4C would normally be an 11 through a 42, but we do add 20 because of the 2 outs. So it's 11 through 62, he would score. So we're going to make that all-important random flip, looking for something below a 62. The flip is an 81, so he is out. He is out. Wilmer Flores thrown out by Alex Gordon at the plate to preserve the tie. We go to the bottom of the 10th, still 5-5. All right, bottom of the 10th, new pitcher is Familia for the Mets, and he'll be facing Kane to start things off. In case you're wondering about a pinch runner for Flores on that play, the way the number turned up as an 81, any runner, even the best runner, would have been thrown out by Gordon. So it did, in this case, it did not matter, and we kept our defense intact. All right, so Kane is up against Familia, who's a 2.9 PB rating, so he's going to control a lot, but not this time. That's an 11. So Kane is up. 77, though, that's an out. Right-handed power hitter's a fly ball to center. So Kane is out, 1 away. And that'll bring up Eric Hosmer. Eric Hosmer. Hosmer, a 5, which is in control of Familia, a 38, and that's actually a walk. So Hosmer draws a 1-out walk off of Familia, and that'll bring up Kendrys Morales, who's homered twice in this game. There's no way he can do it a 3rd time, could he? Let's see. The flip is a 7, so that's under Familia's card, so there's no home run. It's a 68, which means that's an out. And switch hitter power is a GX6 with a star. And the error ratings is a 6, but Flores is a 4, so there's no error. A GX is a fielder's choice. So Morales reaches on the fielder's choice. Hosmer is out 6-4 for the 2nd out. And last chance in the inning for the Royals is Mike Moustakas. See what he can do. The flip is a 5, so we're under Familia. And it's a 47, so that is an out. And the type of out is a fly ball to right field, deep right field, but the inning is over. So we played 10 complete here at Kauffman Stadium. It's still 5-5. Michael Kadire to lead things off here in the top of the 11th. It's a 2, so that's Hochevar's card. It's a 76. It's an out, and the out is a ground ball to short with a star, so we check the error. There is no error. There's 1 away. 6-3 on the putout. Here's Kelly Johnson. Kelly Johnson, it's a 4, so that's under Hochevar. It's a 84, that's an out. G5 with a star, so we'll see if Moustakas can make the play. He does. It's a 5-3 putout. So 2 down very quickly for the catcher, Kevin Plawecki. Kevin Plawecki. It's an 11, so we're under Plawecki's card. It's a 16. A 16 versus right-handed pitching is a single. So Plawecki with a base hit. We'll check for an error to make sure there was no error, and there's not. But it is a single for Plawecki, a 2-out single, and that'll bring up Michael Conforto. Conforto, the batter. And the flip is a 7, which we're under Hochevar. I'm sorry, we're under Conforto, and it's a 41. And that is a strikeout against right-handed pitching. So Conforto is out. Nothing doing for the Mets here in the top of the 11th. We go to the bottom of the 11th, still tied at 5. Familia still in there facing Salvador Perez. CD, so we've skipped that rating. 4 is Familia. 54 is an out, and the out is a ground ball to first with a star. No error, 1 away. Ground out to first. Here is Alex Gordon stepping up. It's a 5. It's a 28, and the 28 is a strikeout. So 2 down very quickly, and that will bring up Jared Dyson. Dyson, the batter. It's an 8. So we're under Familia. It's a 16. That's a base hit. Okay, Dyson singled and stole second, and now the last play here is for Escobar. It's a 7, so we're under Familia's card. It's a 14. That's a base hit to center field. Okay, random number flip. Anything lower than a 72, the ball game's over. The flip is an 11, and Dyson scores.